Hey, how you doing today? So, this is the Zepbound week 14 or 15. I'll definitely put it in the header. Um, After the reaction I had had several weeks ago, I had stopped taking the Zepbound. I don't really believe that that's the cause of the reaction I'm having because I was still having reaction even when I wasn't taking it. I'll give you all the latest news on Zepbound and the update on what I'm doing, if I restarted, and what dose I restarted at. Hang in there for a minute, and I will give you all the new news. So I went and looked it up. This is week 15 of my Zepbound journey. So if you recall, 2 weeks ago, I started having reaction to medication. They wanted me to stop the Zepbound, but I was also on an antibiotic and hydrochlorothiazide for idiopathic edema. So both of those medications can also cause a rash. What I think is happening is that I'm having a photosensitive reaction when I am out in the sun. So, when I looked this up, photosensitive dermatitis is a condition that causes skin inflammation or an eczematous reaction after exposure to sunlight or some types of artificial light. It can affect people of all ages and skin types and occurs due to an abnormal reaction to some components of the electromagnetic spectrum of sunlight, which includes UV and visible light. People with photosensitive dermatitis typically cannot expose themselves to direct sunlight and even some forms of artificial light without their skin reacting. So, this article goes on to talk about what a photosensitive dermatitis is and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, my medical diagnosis, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a medical professional. I just share experiences that happen with me, and I do not give medical advice. But I diagnosed myself because after going out in the sun, I didn't actually go out in the sun. I went out with my daughter on Saturday. It had been over 2 weeks since I had taken a dose of the medication. It had been roughly 10 days since I stopped the antibiotic and the hydrochlorothiazide after seeing my primary care physician and then getting a same-day appointment with the dermatologist. So all the recommendations were stop this, stop that, stop the other thing. So fast forward to this past Saturday, I was with my daughter driving to do what I call a thrift crawl, where we kind of slow go to different thrift shops and I get to budget hunt beautiful clothing like this lovely top that I wash before I wear. But I was driving with my hand on the top of the steering wheel. I have not had any reaction on my hands up until this point. So I'm driving for hours, and all of a sudden my hand starts to itch. The only spot on my body that starts to itch, my hand. Guess what was in the sun while I was driving? My hand. So you can see that I started getting a reaction. I was scratching. It's still red. It's got the bumpy things that I had experienced up and down my arms, right? I'm still healing from the previous reactions. That's definitely, it's a photosensitive reaction. So I restarted the Zepbound because Zepbound is not known to have that effect on people. Is it possible, like minusculely possible, that the Zepbound was causing that reaction? Yeah, it's possible. Do I think that's what it is? No, because wouldn't I have had a reaction sooner? I've been on this medication since April. I honestly don't think it's the Zepbound. So today's update on me. I am at 179 pounds. So between the fluid I'm probably retaining from going off the diuretic, that might be a pound or two, plus a pound or two that I gained back during the time that I was not taking the Zepbound. So yeah, probably not making the healthiest of choices, even though I was trying. So yes, I'm up 4 pounds from the lowest weight that I had registered up until this point. So did I go back to a 10 milligram dosage? No, I did not. I still had a 3 week supply of 5 milligram in the refrigerator. So instead of jumping right back in at the 10, I thought maybe I should start at the 5 again and use the 5 doses and then jump back up to the 10. I'm kind of glad I did that because the day that I took the 5 milligram dosage, which was yesterday, so that was Monday, I felt so nauseous, like a couple hours later. Had I taken the 10, I honestly think I would have really gotten sick to my stomach. And then I couldn't really eat anything for over 24 hours. It just, my stomach was not happy. Today, I'm completely fine. And having my normal, small amount of food makes me satisfied and full. Fairlife shakes that I've been using to supplement my protein needs because I'm not super hungry, but you do need to get in your protein. For women, it's recommended to not get anything less than 60 grams of protein, but that can go all the way up to 120 depending on your needs. So please research and do your due diligence on finding out what your protein needs are. For men, I believe the absolute minimum is like 80 or 90 grams of protein a day. So please make sure that you look into your requirements as a person based on your height, your weight, your sex, your physical, like how much you exercise, etc., can affect your fluid and protein needs. I was part of a bariatric program previously. Obviously, that did not have lasting success. Otherwise, I wouldn't need the medication. But that was minimum of 64 fluid ounces of water a day to sustain life and a minimum of 60 grams of protein to maintain your muscle mass. You do not want to lose strength as you age. So, what is the other news in Zepbound world? So, the new news is that Eli Lilly and Company, I'm reading from an article, it's like a Health Topics article about Eli Lilly launches discount versions of obesity drug Zepbound. These are in vial form. So, they announced the launch of single dose vials of its popular obesity drug Zepbound to meet supply shortages in response to the high demand. These are 2.5 milligram and 5 milligram single dose vials, which are priced at least 50% lower than the list price of the competing GLP-1 medications for obesity. A 4-week supply of the 2.5 milligram vials has now been priced at $399, while the same for 5 milligram doses will cost $549. Zepbound is presently available in single dose pen autoinjectors, and those are priced at roughly $1,300, give or take. The vials should be easier to manufacture than the pens, and it can help improve the supply chain. These cheaper versions of Zepbound will be available through Lilly's direct-to-consumer website called Lilly Direct for self-pay by patients with a valid on-label prescription. The availability of these Zepbound single-dose vials is expected to broaden access for obesity patients, especially those without insurance coverage. The launch of single-dose vials also lowers the need for people to use compounded versions of tirzepatide. Several pharmacies, weight loss clinics, and medical spas have been selling and making compounded versions of Mounjaro and Zepbound. Lilly has time and again warned against use of the custom-made products claiming to contain tirzepatide that are made or distributed by compounding pharmacies. These products are not, the ones not by Eli Lilly, are not currently approved by the FDA, and they can pose serious health risks to users, is what Eli Lilly says. And then it goes on to talk about, the stock has risen 63.7% compared with an increase of 27.1% for the industry overall. And they talk about, the diabetes drug, the same compounded tirzepatide, a dual GIP and GLP-1 receptor antagonist. It's an important class of drugs for multiple cardiometabolic diseases and is gaining significant popularity. Per research conducted by Goldman Sachs, the obesity market in the United States is expected to reach $130 billion, $130 billion by 2030, which is 5.5 short years from now. Despite a short time on the market, Mounjaro and Zepbound have become key top-line drivers for Lilly in 2024, with demand rising rapidly, accounting for 44% of the company's total revenues. Demand for the drugs is extremely strong and exceeds supply. Lilly faced supply shortages in the first half of the year due to skyrocketing demand. Lilly has built, upgraded, or acquired new facilities in the United States and Europe to improve the supply, and the benefit of these investments is showing now as the supply chain for these drugs has improved. With supply improving, Lilly has better visibility on its production plans for Mounjaro and Zepbound for the year and planned launches of Mounjaro in international markets. Lilly is investing broadly in obesity and has 11 new moleculars currently in clinical development, including 2 late-stage candidates, I'm going to mess this up, orforgliprin, an oral GLP-1 small molecule, and retatrutide, a GGG tri-antagonist. That's the one that they're saying will exceed Zepbound on many levels of helpfulness. And several phase 3 data readabouts are expected in 2025. So we'll all have to stay tuned to see how the new medications are coming into play. One of them, I believe, is an injectable, and one of them is a pill form of this type of medication, which will make it even more readily available for everyone. So that's the new news. I will try and bring you all of the updated information as it becomes available and how it affects my journey and how I'm doing. I will come back at you next week with a full week back on the 5 and tell you how I did. Until then, if you have questions, comments, concerns that you would like to share with me, please feel free to drop your comments in the comments section below. Let me know if you love me, if you don't really like me, whatever the case may be. I also do wear wigs due to hair loss, which has not been properly diagnosed by anyone in the medical industry. I believe that it's genetics and autoimmune issues, but this is a wig I'm wearing right now. I will drop those details down below. If you need help with hair wearing, you can reach out to me on Facebook. I am the owner of Beth's Wig Boutique. My name is Beth Pigeon, and I just want to share my life experiences with other people so that you know that you're not alone and you can possibly relate to some of the issues I have. Sorry about that. I had to let my dog out. She was warning me, like roaming around over here, and I was like, oh, she's like off and running. So I'm like, I better go grab her and bring her out. Just a little chihuahua. But at any rate, so this video was about the Zepbound update. And again, I'm just doing the videos to help other people to know that they're not alone. I know that it's helpful for me when I see other people in life, people on YouTube, people in support groups that can relate to the journeys that I'm taking, that I have kind of stumbled through or struggled with. It helps to know you're not alone, right? So that's basically what I feel like my job um, is sharing my wig life, sharing my life, and sharing some of my medical issues that I've had with morbid obesity issues, not being able to lose the weight, following all the rules and guidelines that everyone has given me, done every diet under the sun, had allergy testing, upper GIs, lower GIs, like you name it, I've had it done. No one can figure out what the issue is. So these medications for me have been absolutely life changing. And I hope that it never goes away. And I pray to God that the reactions that I'm having really aren't due to Zepbound. I really don't think they are. If they are, I'd have to go on a different medication. So we'll have to wait and see how things go over the next several weeks while I stay out of the sun. We'll see what happens. I will keep you all posted. Thank you again for joining me. Please like and share out my YouTube. As we grow, I can offer more things for all of you. And be sure to follow me on my other social medias and join my Facebook group if you struggle with hair loss or need the support of other women, like-minded women. I'm sure there's a couple of men in the group, but if there are, they stay silent. It's a safe place to share your experiences with hair loss and how to find options that are within your budget. And everybody has a different budget, so that's a whole other story. So that's it for today. I will see you next Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh, because Monday, I did shot day Monday. So I will see you next Tuesday or Wednesday with an update on how my first week back on Zepbound went. And again, I did a 5 milligram dose, and we'll do at least one more 5 milligram dose before I jump back up to 10. And I don't have any 7.5, and I don't think my insurance company will cover anymore. So I think that that's how I'm going to have to do it, and hopefully I do okay. So wish me luck, guys. I wish you all luck. I will talk to you all next week. Bye, guys.